Welcome to Immigration Quicktake. This is Ellie Rutledge Silver with the American Immigration Lawyers Association. Today, President Trump signed a revised version of the executive order banning Muslims and refugees that will be implemented on March 16th. Here to share details is Chen, Director of Advocacy at AILA. Greg, thanks for joining me. How does this affect the Muslim majority countries differently?
AILA's assessment of the new revised executive order travel ban is that it is still effectively a Muslim ban. The main change is that Iraq has been removed from the list of what was 7 designated countries. But the 6 countries that are Muslim majority nations, their nationals will still be banned under this new order. In addition, lawful permanent residents will be exempted from the ban, as will dual nationals of those 6 designated countries if they are traveling on a passport from a non-designated country. Finally, the waivers that are specified in this new executive order will be provided for people from certain categories if they can demonstrate undue hardship, that it's in the national interest to admit them, and that they don't pose any national security threat. It still remains to be seen how these waivers will be granted, however.
Thanks, Greg. What changes are there affecting the refugee program?
The main changes to the refugee ban are the elimination of the indefinite ban on Syrian refugees. And secondly, the new revised order eliminates language that express preference for minority religious groups that were seeking protection. But the new ban still puts a 120-day suspension on the refugee program and limits the total number of refugees that would come in this year to 50,000. Effectively, that will be a chokehold on the U.S. refugee program, from which it will take a long time before the program can get restarted again, not just 120 days.
Are there still concerns?
As I mentioned before, the restrictions on the U.S. refugee program are going to have devastating consequences. We have refugees by the thousands that were already screened and cleared to come into the United States. But now this 120-day so-called pause is going to mean that they won't be able to enter and are going to be stuck in life-threatening, dangerous conditions where they have been waiting to be resettled. Many of them will lose their security and background checks through the vetting process and are going to have to wait even longer. So this is not just a pause on the program, but is going to be an effective chokehold on our program from which the U.S. refugee assistance will take a long time to recover. In the meantime, we have countries all over the world that are much smaller than the United States with far less resources and capacity that are hosting hundreds of thousands of refugees. Our country is looked to carry that responsibility of protecting refugees and providing humanitarian protection, and now we are withdrawing that in a huge, severe way. With respect to Muslims and the Muslim ban, the fact is that courts had already blocked this president from implementing the initial order that was issued on January 27th, and the new order does very little to inoculate it from the same kinds of constitutional claims with respect to the way it has been drafted to be a discriminatory ban against people of Muslim backgrounds and Muslim faith. The president has already said that he was going to issue this kind of a complete shutdown of Muslims, and now he's done very little and provided very little evidence for why he has chosen these 6 countries. And the impact is going to be that businesses who are wanting for their employees to be able to travel to countries and to have those people's nationals of various countries come to the United States that are designated under the ban, they're not going to be able to proceed. And they're going to see business opportunities lost. In addition, families who are waiting for their family members to come, who are nationals of those designated countries, are all going to see much longer waits, if ever, that their family members can come into the country. So this won't make our nation any safer, but it's going to hurt the United States.
Thanks, Greg, for joining me. For the rest of you, please stay tuned for more updates from the American Immigration Lawyers Association.